question that was put to him in recent weeks.
A question posed to me not too long ago. Minister of Homeland Security, why? What initiative has the police introduced or have to treat with during the carnival season when the children stray from their parents? And that is the question, you know. So, in other words, Mr. Benjamin, Deputy Commissioner, the parents was not addressed.
The Homeland Security Minister says parents must play a more active role in matters involving their children. Minister Alexander pointed to incidents of children becoming lost during Trinidad and Tobago Carnival as an example of why parental input is essential. He said situations like these highlight the need for parents to work closely with authorities and event organizers to help safeguard children during major public events.
The parents was not addressed in that question at all. So it was what the police doing. So what about the parents? What did the parents do or didn't do? I guess that is not important. I guess the important is what strategy you have. So when they stray from their parents, you can find them and safely return them. I guess that's the conversation. No guidance from the parents.
The minister suggested that parents' involvement is critical to ensuring better outcomes and stronger support systems for young people. Minister Alexander made his comments as he addressed his ministry's seminar on vulnerable youth on Thursday. As the dry season intensifies, the risk of bushfires, the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service is urging the public to exercise greater caution. Fire Sub-Officer Jude Rogers warns that figures recorded so far this year are already a cause for concern. With more than 400 bushfires recorded already this year, Fire Sub-Officer Jude Rogers is highlighting a troubling trend, noting that the vast majority of fires in the bush are caused by human activity.
For the first 2 months of January and February of this year, we're well over 400 fires that we've responded to. And I dare say we probably responded to more because a lot of the fires that we deal with is just one after the next. And a lot of the fires we're not able to get to every single one.
This alarming statistic underscores the preventable nature of these fires, which continue to put both lives and the environment at risk.
The human impact or the human interaction with the flora and fauna and with land and property has been the #1 cause of fires in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm talking about whether it's casual flicking of a cigarette butt out of your window, the throwing out of a bottle as you drive along the nation's highway, littering of glass and all of these things which magnify the sun's reflection causes heat to build up and it can cause fires to start.
Mr. Rogers noted that these fires continue to place a strain on the response to other emergencies across the country. He also reminded the public that permits for private bush burning must be obtained from the fire service at a cost of TT $10, warning that failure to do so could result in a fine of up to $20,000. In some sport news now, Game 1 of the Big Four playoffs in the National Basketball Club Championship First Division is set to begin this evening with a doubleheader at the Southern Regional Indoor Sport Arena in Pleasantville. In the 7 p.m. match, we'll see the third-place seeded team, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, take on second-place Elite. In the second match, guarded for an 8:30 p.m. tip-off time, we'll see first-seeded Leeds Maloney Pacers take on fourth-place Straker Nets. Both matches will be conducted in a best-of-3 series format, with the winners advancing to the finals. And that's what's making the news this morning. But joining us right now is Virmala Balkaran, the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today. Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning, Carrie. How are you today?
I'm great. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. The weekend is finally just around the corner, and I cannot be happy about that.
Oh, can I, there's always, it's nice to have that 2 days to just like ease off, get things you want to get done, things around the house if you have chores, which is the usual case for me on weekends.
Yeah, and maybe catch up on some sleep because we wake up so early every day.
I know I would like to say that, but I often fail at that. But I'll work on it.
Well, Carrie, today is Good Samaritan Day. Did you know that?
It is, yes, I do. So it says a lot. You know, it comes from the parable in the Bible about the Samaritan that was attacked by someone and pretty much left for dead. And sorry, not the Samaritan, the Jewish man that was attacked and pretty much left for dead. And people just passed him on the road. Except for a Samaritan who was historically not on good terms with the Jews too much.
Wow.
You know, of all the people, a Samaritan came and helped him.
Well, hopefully today that inspires you all to be a good Samaritan. Do something good today for humans, for animals, for anybody, just for the world. Do a good deed today.
Of course, you have to put animals in there. Love it.
Of course. Always, 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 Carrie. Well, we've got, speaking of animals, we actually have the very famous Papa Ute on the show today.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so that's something to look forward to.
In studio or?
No, but you're going to have to wait and see what's happening.
We'll have to wait and see. Okay. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be glued to the screen.
Yes, we'll talk soon.
We will. Thanks so much, Virmala.
You're welcome.
When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going after this short break.
Greetings, hello to you there, and welcome to the CSIT National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. I'm your host, Sachin Ramsubag, and I am pleased to be part of this great initiative.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
And I think a lot of people, they overthink this sometimes when it comes to time for each other. And they kind of put too much pressure on themselves about it. What do you think? No?
Yes, I think that's the case.
It's not, you know, you can start small.
It's not that deep. It's not that complicated.
You can start small. It doesn't have to be always a big extravagant date somewhere or flying to some exotic country or something like that, right? It could be the smallest of things. It could be just watching a sitcom for half an hour, one day a week, right? Just the two of you, right? Or grabbing dinner, or being intentional about sitting down and eating dinner together and just having conversation. Right, and not just being so busy with life that you're not even checking in. You're not even checking to see how that person is doing or feeling. The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
Coming up, another show-stopping performance from the Republic Bank Exodus Steel Orchestra as Antigua and Barbuda got ready for its own fiesta of color and energy. New ideas for Tobago tourism delivered at the Youth Congress. This highly rated property fits in perfectly with the vacation offerings of St. Kitts and Nevis, where the future of travel was laid out. It's Caribbean Passport TV on TTT.
In a world filled with uncertainty, there is still hope. When the weight feels heavy and the night feels long, remember, your story isn't over. God's promises are still true. His love is still strong, and your breakthrough is still coming. Join us for Messages of Hope, Words of Encouragement with Pastor Jesse, presented by Youth Fires. Hope lives here, only on TTT.
Friday, 13th March 2026. The time now, it is 6:09 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago and the world. Happy Friday. I'm Virmala Balkaran, and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Well, you know the drill. Let's take a look now at what's trending this morning. Well, yesterday we discussed the new digital immigration and customs platform system. And well, following this, Caribbean Airlines is leading the testing at the Piarco International Airport ahead of its planned rollout. Well, passengers traveling on selected Caribbean Airlines flights on March 14th will be required to complete the country's new online arrival and departure form through the government portal. And the digital system will allow travelers to submit immigration information electronically before traveling, including uploading your passport biodata page, receiving a confirmation with a QR code to present to immigration officers as well. Well, authorities are saying that the platform is expected to eventually replace that traditional paper immigration forms that we used to use before when we were entering and leaving the country. So that's just one day away for the testing of the rollout. Well, also, the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries is reminding you that the country's annual sea turtle nesting season runs from March 1st to August 31st. I know many people look forward to this. Beachgoers are really being urged to remain vigilant and please avoid any activities that may disturb nesting turtles and hatchlings, like driving or biking on the beaches. Don't do that. Even building sand structures, mining sand, or using those bright lights along the shoreline, like when you're taking pictures or from vehicles. The ministry is also encouraging the public to reduce marine debris and participate in coastal cleanup efforts to help protect marine life. And we're also being asked to report any harm to turtles. So if you see anything, any harm being done to turtles, the eggs or the hatchlings, please report it to the relevant authorities. All 5 species of sea turtles visiting TNT shores are protected under national law. And also in other news, Prime Minister Kamla Prasad-Bissessar is back to business. Well, she said, "The business of the people of Trinidad and Tobago remains my top priority." And the Prime Minister said she returned on Wednesday from the historic and highly successful Shield of the Americas Summit in Florida. And yesterday, she said that she chaired the weekly cabinet meeting at the Diplomatic Center, where our government continues to focus on people-centered policies and delivering for our nation. And today, she added that the Parliament of TNT meets to continue work in service to all. Well, coming up inside the show today, we chat with the EMA about the turtle nesting season. And a little later on in the show, as I said with Carrie, we get a little update on Papaute, the Ocelot, with Dr. Kriyan Singh. But after the break, we come back to talk to child rights activist Marcus Kisoon about the warning signs of abuse that teachers and parents can look out for. And we have this conversation as details are coming in now about the death of an 11-year-old girl who attended the Karani Hindu primary school earlier this week. Well, you know what to do. Grab your cup of coffee and settle in. We're having this important discussion next. Trinidad and Tobago Today has begun.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success, because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Every morning begins with a story, the headlines you need, the voices you trust, the conversations shaping our nation. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today, where your day starts informed and inspired. News that matters to you. Conversations that spark new ideas. Stories that move Trinidad and Tobago forward. Tune in weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. or join the conversation on any smart device at TNT Today Show. Trinidad and Tobago Today. Start here, exclusively on TTT.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's terrific Toon Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world from Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forests alongside our robot pals from Bugs Bot Ignition, or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. Catch terrific Toon Time weekdays at 4:15 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. It's fun-filled adventure with terrific Toon Time right here on TTT.
Your news anytime, anywhere. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News. Committed, accurate, relevant.
This Ramadan, join me, Charlene Lewis, for Ramadan Reflections, a weekly television series exploring meaningful conversations on fasting and the significance of the holy month. Airing every Tuesday at 8:05 p.m. on TTT, beginning Tuesday 24th February, we delve into real, relatable topics that inspire spiritual growth, discipline, and understanding during Ramadan. Let's reflect, learn, and grow together this blessed month.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago Today on TTT. Remember, for all the stories that you see here and more, follow us at TTT Live online. If you have a story idea, maybe a press release, you want to collaborate with us or advertise with us, we'd love to hear from you. Remember our email address, that's tttoday@ttt.co.tt. Email us and be part of the conversation that's shaping our nation. Again, that's tttoday@ttt.co.tt. Trinidad and Tobago Today, all the news that you can trust, and of course, all the stories that matter. Well, as usual, the stories that matter, it all continues on TNT today. An 11-year-old girl who attended the Carnival Primary School has died in hospital earlier this week. Well, the Secretary General of the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha, Vijay Maharaj, said early information actually suggested that the child had visible injuries prior to her death. And he also noted that police had reportedly received a complaint of sexual abuse involving the child about a year ago or so. Also, other reports suggest that the child may have been a victim of bullying. An autopsy is expected to be conducted today as authorities, including the TTPS and the Ministry of Education, carry out their investigations into the circumstances that are surrounding her death. Support services are, of course, being arranged for students affected by the incident. But because this is a sensitive matter, we will not focus on the specifics of the case, but rather on child protection and the signs that adults should look out for. As you may remember, last week we spoke with Dr. Sarah Suban on bullying, and today we actually have on the line child rights activist Marcus Kissoon. Now, Marcus Kissoon is a Caribbean scholar activist focused on gender and childhood justice. He actually works with feminist movements and the University of the West Indies Break the Silence campaign on ending child sexual abuse. Since 2008, he has combined research and advocacy on child protection, gender-based violence, and safeguarding policy. He also contributed to the 2021 investigation into child abuse in state and private homes in Trinidad and Tobago and convenes the Childhood Justice Collective. Marcus is also a PhD candidate in interdisciplinary childhood studies at the Rutgers University. Good morning, Marcus, and thank you for being here.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, Marcus, this is definitely a heartbreaking situation that we referenced earlier this morning. And with now investigations underway into the circumstances surrounding this child's death, how important is it, Marcus, that the public allows the relevant authorities the time and space to complete a thorough investigation?
Yeah, I think what contributes to children's and everyone's entire culture around feeling that they could trust the institutions and the systems that are designed to protect and offer safeguarding is the idea that investigations are happening and that investigations would lead to some sort of closure and some sort of justice to children and to the parents around them. So I do think that time is of the essence. We don't have a track record in Trinidad of sort of expediting things like this. So I do think that, one, we want to put our faith into the institutions that are bringing justice to this child and to the family. So I do think that as much as time is sort of unstable kind of idea, I do think that the time that the institutions take allow for other children and for other institutions to feel as though that they have a kind of system that is actually invested in them. So yeah.
Yeah, trust in the system is absolutely important. From a child rights perspective, what are some of the warning signs, Marcus, that parents and teachers and even communities should look out for if a child may be experiencing distress, abuse, or those signs of being bullied?
I think that there are these not a very actual but very important kind of understanding of children, which is like the increase in anxiety, the ways in which they function in school, the rise and fall of grades, lack of interest in particular things, afraid to be in particular spaces. They may have to spend some time after school with caregivers, grandparents, neighbors, etc. And the anxiety around that requires parents to sort of investigate. Now, all of these things only become useful and viable if we as parents develop an open line of communication with our children. So I could give you a long list of the things to look for, but they become useless because the thing about abuse and bullying is that it's very secretive. It's designed in a way to keep children from disclosing, right? We are reluctant to have children disclose their issue because of the nature of how these issues exist. So if parents and adults who have the responsibility of taking care of children and creating the spaces to ask. We still live in a culture where some parents still don't ask their children, how was their day? Allowing children to feel as though that they have that kind of safety space to come to the adults in their lives who care about them, to unpack, to offload, to share the discomfort. Because again, any form of abuse, any kind of bullying is designed to keep the child living in silence, right? The ongoing and prolonged nature of these crimes depend on children's silence, and it's designed in a way to keep them silent. So if parents aren't engaging in the lives of their children, observing the change in their behavior, or just simply asking, is anyone hurting you? Is anyone, making you feel uncomfortable? Without reprisal, right? We still live in this society where children are fearful of telling adults in their lives that something is wrong because they're afraid that they will be punished, right? So I think if we don't create this culture where children's voices and children's disclosure and complaint goes without reprisal, goes without punishment, then the ongoing issue of abuse and sexual assault and bullying in school, goes without the sort of investment in the adult culture to the child relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, bullying is definitely something we've been discussing on the show as well, and it's if you think it's becoming worse, but as we had expressed, it's probably because the digital age is now just showcasing the cases of bullying a lot more than maybe when we were in the schools back then. So it definitely is a serious issue. But after a tragedy like this, Marcus, how important is it, and what kind of emotional or psychological support should be provided to the students or the teachers involved in all of this?
Yeah, I do think that uh, intervention, postvention is quite important. I mean, it is about managing the emotions and managing the trauma that comes with it. But from where I sit, the way in which human rights and the ways in which laws and acts are designed, it's really to prevent. And I really want us to think about the culture of prevention in this country. Prevention gets the least amount of interest, right? So I want us to think about what does our curriculums in school look like? For example, health and family life education, which is designed to allow children to unpack ideas of violations against their body's rights, who they could share this with, creating the language. In primary school age children is one of the most complicated ages to work with around these things because of where they are in terms of developmental, in terms of who we think is responsible for the child at this particular age. Is it the parent? Is it the community? Is it the institution at the time? Is it the state and the policies, designed, so elementary school children ages becomes such a very vulnerable kind of space that we have to think about who takes responsibility and what systems are in place around the child in order for this kind of disclosure and this kind of preventative work, because then we just live in a world where we're just pathologizing the issue, where we just become a post-vention culture where it's just let's go in and offer counseling, let's go in now and fix what has already happened, when we do know that there's a lot of cultural shift and a lot of reassuring that needs to be done in a way to prevent this from really occurring in the first place. So
Yeah. Marcus, as I have you here, before we wrap up, I just want to quickly touch on another case that has been on the news recently, and it's the case of that mother of three, Salisha Ali. The 75-year-old man in New York has been charged with murdering the 34-year-old Trinidadian woman, and that was definitely a gruesome story. And I know that you are strong about gender-based violence and you do a lot of work. You are a gender specialist as well. Would you like to weigh in on this situation for us? Cases like this really highlight extreme abuse and violence against women. So from your perspective and everything that you've learned and experienced, what warning signs should parents or families or communities actually look out for that someone may be in danger in a relationship?
Yeah, I think on the post the celebration of International Women's Day, which was the 8th of March, and in a place like the US that is currently celebrating Women's History Month, which is March, I do think that the data, one, globally, women aren't safe, and more so, if we look at the data, women in terms of femicide are more likely to die by the hands of a relative, whether it be an intimate partner violence, whether it be a family dispute over property, etc. Women tend to be the victims of family violence, including intimate partner violence. So I do think that the data does tell us to think about women as very vulnerable, even in their own family spaces, and to always be reassuring that the ideas around women's place in the family, in society, is not just one of vulnerability and always at risk, but we have to also see that, I mean, statistically, when something happens to a woman, she goes missing, the first thing they look at is the partner, the ex-boyfriend, the husband, so again, the data is showing that intimate partner violence and family violence continues to be that space in which women loses their lives, right? So I think what we have to do as a society is to take that data and then shape the campaigns around and shape the interventions around that, telling people to understand women's values in relationships and to understand how we still just undervalue women in these particular places. So I do think that we have to learn from the data, we have to learn from the statistics. I mean, Womantra has constantly been doing work around it. And what they found is that women who are murdered by partners are usually ones who are on the cusp of leaving or who have already left the toxic relationship, which means that the ultimate break in the control and power of the family dynamic of the abuser has been broken. And the absolute control of women's bodies is to take their lives. Right? So we still live in a society where we want to control women's bodies. We want to control their actions, especially in intimate relationships. So I do think that we have to shift the culture as to how we as society value women, value their place in it. And if we want to have a space where we continue to tell young men and boys that a woman belongs to you and that the ultimate control is death if that doesn't go your way. So yeah.
Thanks for unpacking that with us, Marcus. We really appreciate that. Just want to go right back to the previous case that we were discussing before we go. So a lot of people continue to express, or a lot of children say, if I talk to the parents, if I tell my parents something, they're probably not going to listen to me. Or the parents might, just brush it off. What would you say to that situation? Because that is a very real thing, especially in West Indian culture.
So, Brady Silence in their earlier research data found that in very complicated spaces, children are less believed. There's a culture of believing children, because when children disclose about abuse, the relationship of the abuser to the entire ecosystem of that family becomes undone, right? So if that abuser, and usually the abuser uses power dynamics to keep control, so they become the breadwinner. They're the ones who ensure that the entire family is well taken care of. So to now have a complaint on that that security, who is the abuser, removes all of the other factors that come with it. So a lot of families negotiate the silence for that kind of dependency on the abuser, etc. Also issues like shame, to acknowledge that something is happening in the family, in the community, in the school, is to bring shame onto the family, is to bring shame onto the onto the adults. So we have to, again, part of the prevention work is to understand that all adults who have the responsibility of taking care of children have a legal responsibility to report, mandated responsibility to report. Even our Children's Act, the Part 2, Section 4, that talks about the cruelty to children, holds all adults, including the institutions, including the Protective Service, responsible for this ongoing abandonment and exposure to assault and abuse. So even the spirit of the law is telling us that we as adults have a responsibility to, one, believe the child, and to, two, take retroactive responsibility for the abuse. So, and if things like that are valued, we wouldn't have to question time period. We wouldn't have to question the trust in the system, because all adults understand both their legal and ethical responsibility to children.
Marcus, before we close, I know that this situation has really, understandably so, shaken the school community. What are some practical ways by which we can, help the students to process the grief and the trauma after the loss of a classmate? What can the schools do, the agencies?
Yeah, I think this is an ongoing healing process. What I have seen very useful in the past is that I have seen things like art and creating messaging where children's voices shape what those messaging looks like. What does that art creativity looks like. You know, I did some work several years ago in a few schools, and I went in a particular time where a young girl had just committed suicide, and that particular school had created this mural about the emotional highs and lows of being a student, being young, etc. And it was a way for the school to take responsibility and bring awareness to the issue of suicide, bullying, child sexual abuse, etc., by creating this mural, by creating these messaging. You know, let's face it, if we have a problem, then all institutions have to take responsibility. And if the schools are where children spend majority of their life and their development, then it has to be part of the school dynamic. So I've always been an advocate for health and family life education, where you are able to unpack, especially young people understanding their rights to safety and to be aware of what services are available, including school counselors and including NGOs and hotlines, etc. So having these designed curriculums to constantly unpack this and not just one-offs after an event, right, becomes critical for the school's response and for the community's response towards managing and preventing as well.
Thank you very, very, very much, Marcus, for joining us this morning on Trinidad and Tobago Today. Your contribution definitely goes a long, long way. So thank you. Have a great day.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
All right, time now 6:36. When we come back, we speak with Dr. Kriyan Singh, give you an update on Papaute.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 10-20 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون.
This powerful verse from the Holy Quran invites us to embrace reflection, self-discipline, and spiritual renewal. Join us daily on TTT Limited for special Ramadan features, inspiring messages, heartfelt moments of devotion, and reflections that uplift our nation.
Greetings, hello to you there, and welcome to the CSIT National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. I'm your host, Sachin Ramsubag, and I am pleased to be part of this great initiative.
in an exciting update, the rescued Ocelot Papaute has shown significant improvement. While vet at the Laramane Veterinary Clinic, Dr. Krian Singh, has confirmed that Papaute is receiving extensive care to ensure the best overall outcome. Here's more. Well, actually, the story of Papaute, the injured ocelot rescued from Cedrus, has really captured our attention. And this morning, we wanted to bring you a little update on how he's been doing. And we actually have on the line with us this morning Dr. Krian Singh. Dr. Singh, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Well, firstly, congratulations on your recent appointment as well as a member of the Vet Surgeons Registration Board, and also on all your compassionate work that you've been doing. You are definitely a household name when it comes to anything veterinary related in Trinidad and Tobago. So thank you for all that you do.
You're most welcome.
So, firstly, you have had the tremendous job of taking care of Papaute. Tell us how that has been.
Well, it has been a challenge. Papaute has now been in my care for 18 days, and it's been 18 tiring days. We are with Papaute every 2 hours. We check on him. During the day, we're with him 8 hours, 9 hours non-stop. And then in the night, I check on him every 2 hours. We also have cameras on him to monitor his activity throughout the night. Keeping in mind he's a nocturnal animal, so now that he is progressing, he's way more active in the night than he would have been before. So now I actually try to do a lot of the therapy and work we have to do with him in the night instead.
Yeah, we're seeing updates on the screen now. This is actually from this morning. And he looks so much better, just in our opinion, just from what we've been seeing before. I understand that he has special therapy that you have to do with him. Am I right?
So what you would see in the video there, we have him, part of the therapy is keeping him wound-free and ulcer-free on his skin. So part of his therapy is being on a special air mattress type setup where all his urine and so on doesn't stay on the body. And then for his actual spinal therapy, we are currently doing physiotherapy with him, standing therapy, and something called TENS or EMS therapy, where we shock the muscles in his back leg to stimulate their movement. We also have him on some nutritional therapy now. So Papaute is finally eating on his own, and we have him eating his own live food. We're trying to keep his wild instinct to hunt his food and get the best nutrition that way. But we are also still giving him a liquid diet to maintain his liquid intake.
Now, you've received tremendous support, an outpouring of support from the country and also the world. A lot of people have been reaching out about the situation. What does this support mean for you? And I know it's been pushing you. Hopefully it's been pushing you to do, this job that you're doing. And it takes a lot of heart and spirit. But also the support, how has it been for you?
Oh, well, the support from every Trinidadian, I must say, has been outstanding. Not just for me, but to see Papaute recover. I've received calls, messages, WhatsApp messages from a lot of people who want to contribute in some way to Papaute's care. What I have reminded everybody so far is that everything I have done for Papaute so far, I don't want any funds for, we don't need any money for, we don't need any financial assistance for. We currently have his food undercover as well. We have received an immense donation to cover his live food. So everything we're doing for him now, we appreciate all his support. We appreciate the prayers as well. I'm a firm believer that without God, none of this could have been possible, especially the miraculous recovery he has made. I keep reminding people that if Papaute did not come to us on the day, he would not be a Papaute here today for us, because the bullet wound was directly over his jugular. So every little step in Papaute now is a miracle that we are watching live in front of us.
Dr. Singh, this case has really raised a lot of awareness on wildlife conservation, and it's good that we're continuing to have these discussions. And I think it's really for a good reason that it works out really well in the end. And you've been very outspoken about all of this. And once again, congratulations on that recent appointment. So that appointment in itself, what does that mean to you as a veterinarian?
So as a veterinarian, being appointed to the veterinary surgeon board means that that the government of the country has the confidence in me as a veterinarian, and also that the veterinary fraternity has the confidence in me as a veterinarian to represent the body in some way or form to deal with the legal issues the fraternity has, to deal with some of the access to new equipment and drugs that the fraternity has. So I am really thankful for having the position, both on the part of the new government and on the part of the veterinary fraternity, that I could serve both together and continue to serve Trinidad and Tobago as well as a vet.
As a vet, this is a personal question that I have for you. How do you separate the emotions from all of these cases and then just doing your job? How do you actually, just separate all that? For me, I would have a breakdown every single day, and it would be tremendously hard for me. But how do you do it?
I actually don't. I don't try to separate my emotions from my job. I think it's a critical part of it. If I don't love these animals, I wouldn't be doing what I am doing. So having that emotional bond with the animals is important. But having the professional bond also is important. And let's be, balance the two and make the right decisions for animals as they progress in their life.
Yeah. Dr. Singh, what's next for Papa Ute?
So we've just about crossed the initial 2-week critical period with Papa Ute. The next step would be to reassess him as he progresses on 6 weeks and 8 weeks during his therapy. And then eventually we hope to have him in more therapy. We hope to do standing therapy with him more. We hope to do possible wheelchair therapy for him. We do have wheelchairs for dogs and cats at our clinic. So he'll be going in one of those once his spinal damage heals a little more. And then we also have a pool for hydrotherapy for animals. So we're hoping that could be the third step that we institute with him to get him back to full recovery.
And finally, what would you say to Papa Ute's fans? And they're continuously sending all their love and support. You keep seeing videos being shared all over socials. People just love him. And he's really cute as well. So that helps his case, What would you say to all of his fans?
So to his fans, I'll say continue loving him. I will continue to put out every day as much as I can to educate everybody about the work we are doing with him and about his recovery. But also remember to love all wildlife, not just Papa Ute. Papa Ute is one case. He's not the only case we have. He's not going to be the only case we have. So as Trinidadians who love Papa Ute, we should love all wildlife and do everything we could to remember that wildlife has an integral part to play in our country. I keep reminding everybody that Papa Ute as an ocelot was here before humans were here, right? They will be here before all our ancestors were here, before the discovery of Trinidad and Tobago, and even before the Caribs and Arawaks were here. So that to me represents the legacy that wildlife has in our country. And so everyone in loving Papa Ute should do their best to love all the wildlife in our country.
Thank you, Dr. Singh, for spending time with us this morning. All the best to you and to Papa Ute, and we will continue to monitor his progress through your social media channels.
You're most welcome. Take care.
All right, have a good day. 6:48, that's the time on TNT today. When we come back, we talk about AI-powered kindness. I'm sure you want to find out about that. So stick around. We'll be back.
City 91.1. Thought-provoking conversations, bold perspectives, voices you trust. Talk City 91.1. Bigger, bolder, and more powerful than ever before.
Yes, Talk City 91.1 FM.
A brand new era of talk radio is here. With voices you know, trust, and respect. Get ready for an all-new lineup of the very best in talk. Andy Williams, Lennox Smith, Stephen Reese, Mr. X, Derek Charbodi, Roland Stewart, Sharon Farfan, Sudath Prasad, Heavy Duty, Alex Asing, Karen Francisco, Cherry Lean Lewis, Short Pants, and more of the voices shaping the national conversation. From hard-hitting current affairs to real community issues, culture, politics, social development, and the stories that matter most to you. This is where Trinidad and Tobago comes to talk.
So I'll get right to on Talk City 91.1, where we're going to give you something new, something hot every day, Monday to Friday.
Listen on 91.1 FM and connect on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Talk City 91.1. Your city, your voice.
Greetings, hello to you there, and welcome to the CSIT National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. I'm your host, Sachin Ramsubag, and I am pleased to be part of this great initiative.
Ever wondered what happens before the lights come on? Before the crowd pours in? Before the magic hits the stage? This is your all-access pass. Sneak Peek with Junior K takes you behind the scenes of the biggest cultural moments and the hottest events across TNT. From the sound checks to the stage setups, from final rehearsals to exclusive interviews. If it's about to be big, we're already there. Catch Sneak Peek airing daily on TTT and relive every moment on all our social media platforms. Sneak Peek with Junior K, where the story starts before the spotlight.
In a world filled with uncertainty, there is still hope. When the weight feels heavy and the night feels long, remember, your story isn't over. God's promises are still true. His love is still strong, and your breakthrough is still coming. Join us for Messages of Hope, Words of Encouragement with Pastor Jesse, presented by Youth Fires. Hope lives here, only on TTT.
I'm KC, your kindness companion, and I'm so happy you're here. Welcome to the Kindness Club Online, a whole new world where kindness, learning, and fun all come together. Here, every click, every smile, and every small act of good counts. Whether you're a student ready to explore our kindness missions, a teacher guiding your class to grow in empathy, or a sponsor helping us reach more young hearts, you're part of something truly special. In this space, kindness isn't just a word, it's an adventure. You'll journey through our 7 kindness worlds, from learning to care for yourself and others, to protecting animals, the planet, and even spreading positivity online.
Incredibly cool. The Caribbean's first AI-powered kindness platform aiming to encourage positive community engagement while also helping businesses embrace digital transformation. Well, joining us this morning to talk about this innovative initiative and the launch of the Kindness Club, we're joined by Gary Ramden, the founder of Node Technologies, and also via Zoom we have DJ Danny. She is also weighing in on the conversation. So good morning to you, Gary, and good morning to you, Danny.
Good morning,
everyone. Good morning. Thanks so much.
It's good to have you both here with us. Danny, you were here virtually, and we'll definitely get to you in a short minute to talk about the Kindness Club, because I know this is your baby, but you are partnering with Gary and Node Technologies. So Gary, tell us about Node Technologies and what problems does it aim to solve?
Well, Node Technologies is one of the Caribbean's first AI powerhouses. We design and we develop artificial intelligence platforms, as well as we do operating systems for companies to more or less automate systems within their organization to make things faster, to make things better. And we partnered with Danny to build this digital platform for what we see as a great need in Trinidad and Tobago and even the Greater Caribbean. This is the first platform of its kind, actually.
This is incredibly cool technology, and I love how we're using AI for something so wholesome. Well, Danny, you've called the Kindness Club your baby, as I said before. What inspired you to create this, and what is the Kindness Club?
Okay, so what inspired me is during the pandemic, my nieces moved from preschool to primary, and then from online to in person. And I mean, navigating that at 5, 6 years old, I remember one day she saying to me, Auntie, primary school is not what I thought it would be. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, kids are so mean, they don't play with me. You know, so the socializing skills wasn't really there for kids coming back out to school. And that really just broke my heart. And at the same time, you know, I was also doing my own mental health work, you know, therapy, going to Costa Rica to attend the United Nations University for Peace Global Happiness Summit, then doing their positive leadership and chief well-being and officer program. You know, it had me thinking, what if I had these tools as a child? You know, what would I have been able to navigate better and sooner? So I decided that, you know, I needed to create a program for kids that tackled mental health and well-being, and what better way to frame it than through kindness. You know, that's a universal language. So we've been peeling back layers of what it means to be kind. We spent the last year doing in-school workshops at 4 pilot schools. You know, we've been teaching them how to be kind to yourself and your body, how to be kind to your peers, animals, the environment, kindness online, anti-bullying, you know, teamwork, the importance of diet and movement, even financial well-being, because we know as adults how much your finances can affect your mental health. So, you know, my aim is really just to empower kids to cultivate positive mindsets, build resilience, empathy, and just practical tools to navigate school, navigate relationships, life, and just move from surviving to thriving.
Yeah, well, we will definitely continue this conversation after the news. But before we do that, Gary, let me ask you, so how did this collaboration come about?
It was actually really interesting because we work a lot with the healthcare system. I built hospital management systems and so on. We've been doing this for a long time. And when we first collaborated with Danny, when we came in to talk about artificial intelligence and safety of using AI and all of these things, we met at the Caribbean Airlines Expo, where I did the AI booth there. And Danny and I ended up having a conversation. And from that, we did some research, and we decided that we're going to collaborate and merge kindness with the digital platform. And it turned out to be something revolutionary, something never done before. Yeah. Social emotional learning on a digital scale that can reach anywhere in Trinidad and Tobago. So we found that we were able to solve a lot of the limitations that we had from being able to visit schools and so on. And now we can reach more schools, we can reach more students using the social emotional learning platform, as well as you would have seen before, the digital avatar Casey. That also is the first of its kind in Trinidad and Tobago and the region. As you can see, that avatar, she's live, she can see you, she can hear you, she can respond to you emotionally, she can detect your tone of voice. If you smile, she will smile back. If you frown, she will ask you why you're sad. And she's designed to learn from every conversation. Wow. All of these are some of the technology we've been pioneering in the Caribbean quietly, but now we're ready to make some noise and make some waves. Apart from Casey, she's part of the larger platform itself. The platform itself is also designed on modules where children can go onto the platform, interact, play, learn, and earn. So it gives them incentive to express kindness through the activities and the games that we've built into the platform itself. And also guide them emotionally, again, within keeping the safe boundaries of artificial intelligence and what it's about.
Well, we will continue this conversation after the news. We've got Carrie coming up with the major network news. The time now is 6:59 a.m. Hope you're having a great morning. Trinidad and Tobago continues in just a bit.
Good morning, this is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts, making the news at this time. Around 1,500 residents of the La Horquita Talparo constituency are expected to benefit from a new housing development. The project, which is slated to begin soon, was announced by the area's Member of Parliament, Philip Watts, who highlighted the positive impact it will have on the local community. There is a growing need for both housing and employment opportunities in the La Horquita Talparo constituency, and Member of Parliament Philip Watts says plans are already in motion to address those concerns. Speaking with TTT News, he revealed that hundreds of new homes will soon be constructed in the area.
Through the HDC, they would have sent out tenders for housing. Unfortunately for me, some of those packages fall into my constituency for design build finance. So we are going to embark on construction of 1,500 new homes, which I will ensure after I develop my youths, they get the job, they will be able to qualify for HDC homes. So we connecting the dots again as to how close I'm working with the youths and the long-term plan and vision for them.
MP Watts added that the housing project will also play a major role in reducing unemployment within the constituency by prioritizing local labor.
This is where now we are going to damp up most of the labor in the construction sector with the tradesmen in the constituency, right? So you will have electricians, plumbers, carpenters, masons being employed in that particular project in the constituency. So shortly, we shouldn't have any labor issues in the constituency.
In addition to housing and job creation, the Member of Parliament noted that infrastructure improvements are also being targeted. In other news, the search is ongoing for two Trinidadian sailors who were en route to Union Island. Alvin Morgan and Damian Ruiz departed from Waterloo, Trinidad, and made a stop in Tobago on March 2nd before continuing their journey. Since then, neither the sailors nor their vessel have been seen. Valence Rambrat, who leads the Hunters Search and Rescue Team, told TTT News that efforts to locate the men are ongoing. According to the Hunters Search and Rescue Team, the sailors, both of Santa Flora, Trinidad, were reported missing on March 2nd after they set sail on a newly built pirogue destined for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. 10 days later, there has been no sighting of the two men nor the boat bearing the name Campi.
Hunters Search and Rescue Team continues to be in contact with the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, the Tobago fisherfolk and fisherfolk from Grenada. Thus far, nothing has been found with respect to these two sailors who were hired to transport this newly built boat from Waterloo, Trinidad to Union Island in St. Vincent.
Mr. Morgan and Mr. Ruiz reportedly made a stop at Buku Beach in Tobago for refueling en route to Grenada. After leaving Grenada, the men were expected to make their way to Union Island in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
To be in contact with a Tobago fisherman who assisted them with their mechanical difficulties while they were in Buku, Tobago, and eventually they made their way to Palatuve and turned into the open Atlantic waters to make the trip to Grenada. Despite aircraft surveillance by the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard and by our members in Tobago, thus far nothing has been found.
The men and the pirogue were expected to arrive in St. Vincent and the Grenadines on March 2nd. Switching gears now to some sport, action continues in the East-West Corridor Football League this evening, with matches taking place in the North and Northeast zones. At the Northeastern Sporting Complex, third-place Northeast Zone side Dream Team United will face Bonaire FC. Meanwhile, second-place Coolit FC will be aiming to hold on to their position in the round of 16 when they take on Coca All-Stars. And in the final week of North Zone action, the Hazley Crawford Stadium training field will host Sheriff Angels, Belmont versus San Juan, Santa Cruz, and North America FC versus United Brotherhood. And that was your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. After a short break, we return to Trinidad and Tobago Today.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
When it matters, we're there, reporting the news as it happens, because your world can't wait. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
Well, the Caribbean's first AI-powered kindness platform, we're still talking about that. And this morning we have Gary and DJ Danny with us. Gary is from No Technologies and DJ Danny's baby is called the Kindness Club. So this morning we are exploring all of this. But I want to come back to you, Gary. I know that No Technologies really has been trying to make a difference for communities, businesses, schools, and all of that. Tell us about that.
Yes. So we decided that we wanted to be on par with the rest of the world when it comes to technology and when it comes to artificial intelligence. So we started to incorporate some of our technology into businesses, local businesses. So for instance, in healthcare, we have long life clinical diagnostic systems. They use our hospital management, AI-powered hospital management system, which increases their workflow, it decreases time wasting, it actually makes a difference in the business, in efficiency, productivity. We have SSI Industries, we have Virtual Radiology Consult, the first teleradiology consultation platform where you could reach radiologists from all over the world and get a consultation in 24 hours. And we've been able to integrate AI and produce all of these things to actually make businesses more efficient, increase their productivity, ultimately increase their revenue. And the goal really with Node is to help businesses in Trinidad and Tobago. And by integrating with also the Kindness Club and all of these engagement platforms, we're also able to reach people on that emotional level as well, utilizing AI and this technology.
Yeah. So, Danny, this partnership between the Kindness Club and No Technologies is really, really special. It's really unique. And it's going to take the Kindness Club so far. What does this mean to you to now have it being done like this? Did you envision this would happen?
Well, I mean, literally, we will be celebrating 1 year next term when we started these in-school, in-person workshops, right? But it's 4 schools, and it was literally myself and a collaborator. Like Gary spent a week with me going to different schools. The TTPS spent a week with me. The folks at JMMB. And while it was so rewarding and seeing the impact firsthand, right, and being able to hear and learn from these kids as well, it's also, I can't be in every school. So there needed to be a way for me to scale up this program. And Gary, the universe sent him to me at the right time. I keep saying alignment is everything, right? And so within just a year, we've been able to scale up the program from physically being in schools, which I still do want to continue, but also have a layer where we can make a bigger impact and reach a wider audience. And now taking the Kindness Club online does that, right?
Yeah.
You know, we're creating a kindness ecosystem, a kindness community that I hope to touch every part and every school of Trinidad and Tobago. combining purpose and play. I think that's the aim here. I'm the why and Gary's the how.
Well, Gary, I want you to tell us before we wrap up, how can we use this platform? Is it ready?
Well, yes, we have a vision of the platform online right now where you can actually go and interact and speak with Casey, which is the Kindness Club avatar,
right?
Via Kindness Club online. Node TT will also have a portal to the platform as well as other platforms that we have built for people to go on and explore the power of AI and how it can help them and their business and the school and even the family life.
That's node-tt.com. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Gary. Thank you, Danny, for joining us. We'll definitely love to hear about the progress of this AI-powered kindness platform, and congratulations to you both on everything you've been working on. And we'll definitely have you back on the show again.
Thank you. Have a great one.
Have a great one. All right. Thank you, Gary. Okay. Well, when we come back, we talk all about turtle nesting season. Rishi joins us once again from the Environmental Management Authority of Trinidad and Tobago.
Introducing the new Sun Mix Nut Bar. Available in 3 delicious flavors: granola raisin nut, almond cranberry crunch, and coconut almond crisp. All packed on a rich bed of dark chocolate.
Taste the good life, snack right. Taste the good life anytime. Good life, good life. Sun Mix.
Sunshine Snacks Sun Mix Nut Bar. Taste the good life.
Greetings, hello to you there, and welcome to the CSIT National Secondary Schools Climate Quiz. I'm your host, Sachin Ramsubag, and I am pleased to be part of this great initiative.
And I think a lot of people, they overthink this sometimes when it comes to time for each other. And they kind of put too much pressure on themselves about it. What do you think? No?
Yes, I think that's the case.
It's not, you can start small.
It's not that deep. It's not that complicated.
You can start small. It doesn't have to be always a big extravagant date somewhere or flying to some exotic country or something like that, right? It could be the smallest of things. It could be just watching a sitcom for half an hour, one day a week, right? Just the two of you, right? Or grabbing dinner, or being intentional about sitting down and eating dinner together and just having conversation. Right, and not just being so busy with life that you're not even checking in. You're not even checking to see how that person is doing or feeling. The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
Coming up, another show-stopping performance from the Republic Bank Exodus Steel Orchestra as Antigua and Barbuda got ready for its own fiesta of color and energy. New ideas for Tobago tourism delivered at the Youth Congress. This highly rated property fits in perfectly with the vacation offerings of St. Kitts and Nevis, where the future of travel was laid out. It's Caribbean Passport TV on TTT.
In a world filled with uncertainty, there is still hope. When the weight feels heavy and the night feels long, remember, your story isn't over. God's promises are still true. His love is still strong, and your breakthrough is still coming. Join us for Messages of Hope, Words of Encouragement with Pastor Jesse, presented by Youth Fires. Hope lives here, only on TTT.
Well, reports coming to hand indicate that a firefighter has tragically died following an early morning accident in Tobago. Well, according to initial information from TTT Limited, the victim has been identified as Jerome Jack, a fire officer. He reportedly died in a motorcycle accident around 3 a.m. in the Bonaccord area of Tobago. As I said before, the stage details surrounding the accident have not yet been fully confirmed, but we will have more for you in a subsequent newscast. Well, continuing with Trinidad and Tobago Today this morning, at the start of the show, we mentioned that the country's annual sea turtle nesting season has begun and runs till August 31st. Well, to discuss this and help the public understand how we can protect TNT sea turtles, we're now joined by no stranger to Trinidad and Tobago Today, Rishi Deosaran, Biodiversity Technical Officer at the EMA. Good morning, Rishi, and welcome back.
Morning, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
So, this is your busy season.
Yeah.
A lot of questions to answer, and we're going to ask a few of those now. Well, reports are showing that sea turtle nesting in Trinidad and Tobago is actually declining. Can you weigh in on that for us?
Yeah, I can. What I'll say about that report is that sea turtles are complex creatures, and it's hard to get a good idea of their population trends by comparing year-on-year data, which is what that report does. But what I can say is that over the past 10 years, globally and regionally, we've seen significant declines at key nesting beaches, and nationally, we've seen similar, smaller but sustained declines at our major nesting sites.
So what are the main threats that are facing our sea turtles in all those spaces in Trinidad and Tobago?
So again, sea turtles are complicated animals. They live both inland and on water, and they're very long-lived and traverse vast expanses. So as a result, they're exposed to a number of threats. You have climate change, which acts as a multiplier that exacerbates other existing threats. So sea level rise, sargassum, temperature. You also have pollution, coastal and marine development, and of course, one of the most significant threats in the region, which is bycatch from our fisheries industry.
Yeah, I know that the EMA has actually designated 5 sea turtle species as environmentally sensitive species. How does this help?
So their designation as environmentally sensitive species in 2014 affords them the highest protection available under our national legislative framework. Full, complete protection to them and any part thereof, and of course the environment as well.
Yeah, and you know, year after year, we continuously have this discussion about people harming or disturbing the sea turtles. How are these laws or penalties enforced?
So under the Environmental Management Act, any disturbance or harm to an ESS is punishable by a fine of up to $100,000 and imprisonment for up to 2 years. And we enforce this through collaborating with other enforcement authorities in the Forestry Division and TTPS, game wardens and officers, and by collaborating with community-based organizations on these nesting beaches, active and involved conservation stewards who we coordinate with to make sure that we protect these species.
And also climate change and coastal development are definitely ongoing concerns, and not just for Trinidad and Tobago, but the world. How is the EMA responding to these challenges?
Well, just recently, the EMA, in collaboration with the National Sea Turtle Task Force, would have developed the revised Sea Turtle Recovery Action Plan for Trinidad and Tobago. And once that document is chock full of management recommendations and conservation strategies geared towards addressing the plethora of threats that sea turtles face nationally here in Trinidad and Tobago.
I know the EMA is always doing work to prepare the beaches as well. I think on March 1st, there was a beach cleanup in Matura.
Yes.
So how do these community efforts and initiatives like these contribute to sea turtle protection?
Well, sea turtle conservation in Trinidad and Tobago has historically been a community-based and led endeavor, and we would be a lot further behind if not for the efforts of these community-based organizations who are on the ground protecting these beaches, recording the valuable data on our sea turtles, and collaborating with us as state entities to make sure that they are protected and conserved.
And what advice would you give to people, you know, the residents, the tourists as well, coming in to view the turtles?
Well, of course, always listen to your trained and certified tour guides with your community-based organizations. Don't interact with any turtles. We don't want any touching, so stay a safe distance away, preferably about 20 meters away. Don't put any permanent or semi-permanent structures into the sand or into the beach. Don't dig any holes, light any fires, or do any beach driving for that matter as well, to try and leave no trace, as we like to say.
Yeah, this is their space.
We share it. It's a shared space. The coastal and marine environment is a shared resource, and we need to act with responsibility and accountability in that.
Is there a particular unit that's specific to protecting the turtles?
So turtles in Trinidad and Tobago have quite a complex legislative protection. So they're protected under the Conservation of Wildlife Act, the Fisheries Act, the Forest Act, as well as the Environmental Management Act. So we coordinate across multiple divisions and state entities to protect the turtles both on land and in sea.
And any new, maybe the use of technology or anything like that, what is the EMA doing to implement, just a progressive approach to attempt to reverse the decline in nesting?
Well, like I said, the Sea Turtle Recovery Action Plan is full of these management recommendations. They're diverse and they're varied for the multiple overlapping threats that we face. But I can speak that right now that there are community-based organizations on the ground, like Nature Seekers, who are using drone technology to better understand nesting ecology on Arinkan and Orozco Bays. There are NGOs like Species who have citizen science projects like the Sea Turtle Spotter Challenge, where persons who are going out into the waters in the marinas in Chaguaramas or just kayaking along the East Coast can take a picture of any turtles they see, upload it, get it identified, and contribute to citizen science data as well.
Yeah, well, as we have you here, there's another development. I believe a humpback whale was recently spotted near the BP Teak Alpha platform off Trinidad's East Coast. How significant is the sighting for our waters? What does it mean?
Well, it points to a really interesting fact that we, like I said earlier, our oceans are a shared resource, and we share it with some really incredible, rich marine biodiversity, in particular our marine megafauna, like this humpback whale, but also our sharks, our rays, our dolphins, and of course our sea turtles. They all inhabit our waters, and we have an effect on them, and we need to make sure we act responsibly.
And how common is it for these whales to pass near our shores?
It varies, and actually we don't have as much data as we'd like to have, but there are a lot of great organizations on the ground who are collaborating with communities as well as with state entities to get that information, like the Trinidad and Tobago Cetacean Sighting Network. And you can probably go on their website and get a lot more information to learn about our cetaceans, our dolphins, and our whales.
Yeah, and a lot of people will probably be seeing this if they're out at sea or anything like that. What would you say to them as well? If you see these animals, what should they do?
I would say practice being ecologically conscious. Go slow, use sustainable gear types if you are going in and fishing, and try and minimize your impact. Like I said, leave no trace as much as possible.
So on a personal note, what do you look forward to most during sea turtle nesting season? Do you go? I'm guessing often.
Well, yeah. I mean, what I would say is that I take a lot of pride in being able to support the community-based organizations on the ground, and I encourage our public to go and view turtles, develop a relationship, and have memories with your kids about seeing this incredible spectacle. We support one of the largest leatherback nesting sites in the entire Caribbean, and by virtue of that, in the entire world. And it's a point of national pride, and we have no excuse not to go and experience that.
So I've actually never been, and I plan to have my first experience before it's August 31st, right?
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who's never been and they want to get the best experience possible? How to approach this?
Like I said, we go to your well-known community-based organizations, your reputable community-based groups like Nature Seekers and the like, and reach out to them. They'll organize the permits, because you do need to have permits to be able to go on a turtle tour.
Really?
Yes, because they are protected species, and these beaches are prohibited areas. You need permits from the Forestry Division, as well as, the community-based organizations needs approval from the Environmental Management Authority. So please do go. Please do abide by the rules and the regulations, and make many memories.
Yeah, well, thank you, Rishi, for joining us this morning. It is officially sea turtle nesting season. I know many people are looking forward to that. And we're sure we'll have you back again for some reason. Well, follow us for all the stories that you see here and more via TTT Live online. If you want to contribute to the show in any way, just email us at tttoday@ttt.co.tt. And you can follow us on all our social media channels. It's on the screen for you now at TNT Today Show. More when we come back.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
And I think a lot of people, they overthink this sometimes when it comes to time for each other, and they kind of put too much pressure on themselves about it. What do you think? No?
Yes, I think that's the case.
It's not, you know, you can start small.
It's not that deep. It's not that complicated.
You can start small. It doesn't have to be always a big extravagant date somewhere or flying to some exotic country or something like that, right? It could be the smallest of things. It could be just watching a sitcom for half an hour, one day a week, right? Just the two of you, right? Or grabbing dinner, or being intentional about sitting down and eating dinner together and just having conversation, right? And not just being so busy with life that you're not even checking in. You're not even checking to see how that person is doing or feeling. The Marriage Confessional, only on TTT.
Health and wellness, the core of our existence on planet Earth. Let us hear the voices of our very own citizens, our local and regional medical community, scientists and climatologists. Caribbean Medical TV is geared to developing a consciousness in our people in terms of our health and lifestyle. Knowledge is a very powerful tool, and we must empower ourselves with the information to protect against chronic and other related diseases. From the impact of climate change on our health to NCDs, Season 3 of Caribbean Medical TV tackles the challenges we all face, giving our citizens hope for a better tomorrow. Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV.
Positive mindset. Despite things in a mess, we don't deal with no stress. Focus on things that will bring happiness. Try do your best. Invest in your success. I and I, voice must be heard. So much things need address. Light is the dark as his life over death. Jah will protect. Positive mindset. Despite things in a mess, we don't deal with no stress. Focus on things that will bring happiness. Try do your best. Invest in your success. I and I, voice must be heard. So much things need address. Light is the dark as his life over death. Jah will protect. Hey. Standing firm on solid ground. Cannot drain my energy. Not try water me down. Feminine power, lioness wear the crown. Protect my peace of mind. That's where you belong. Never forget where you're coming from. Bridges you cross, never burn them down. Keep on smiling, now but a frown. Throughout all trials and tribulation, seeking knowledge and wisdom. Cannot be driven by emotion. that's about.
Well, joining us today on Trinidad and Tobago Today is reggae singer Carla Yashamani Hobson, who's a star that continues to rise on the international stage, like Music Africa Awake. Well, Yashamani has toured South Africa on 2 occasions in 2022 and 2024, performing at concerts and festivals, and was also appointed International Reggae Ambassador for Music by Music Africa Awakes Nigeria, promoting messages of peace and love and unity. Now, she's also the driving force behind Positive Mindset, which is an all-women project and Majestic Makeover, initiatives designed to help women reset their mind, body, and soul, empowering them to thrive personally and professionally. Well, Miss Yasha, many people first knew you as a television and radio host. Tell us what inspired you to transition to a reggae artist.
Well, first of all, Virmala, thank you so much for having me. And Trinidad and Tobago, happy Friday. Blessed Friday to you as well. So, what inspired me? I am driven by inspiring and empowering persons. I was actually working at previous media stations, not doing much frontline, small projects, sales, and I was inspired to come to the forefront and take a step to be purposeful in life via my music and via my television production as well.
Now, you've been on international stages, and that is a huge accomplishment as well. And you've been promoting peace and love and justice. What did all of this mean to you to be on an international stage?
It means being able to be a mouthpiece for goodness. And that, for me, is the pinnacle. A lot of people use media for negativity, you know, bad messages, you know, highlighting things like greed and money and, you know, sexuality or sensuality, as they would say. And my choice in life is to use, I got an opportunity to be in media, and my choice in life is to use that for the greater good of women and I guess the general public as well. So being on that stage, it was an honor to be there, one, to see the African people embrace me, but two, being able to bring a message from the West to the East.
Yeah, and you're repping Trinidad and Tobago
all the way, my flag, everything, you know, every stage I touch, I make sure and say, you know, I'm from Trinidad. I say 400 years ago, my ancestors were scattered all the way to the West. I am here. You know, always try to make sure, because people don't even understand from that side, they can't really identify that we were there and we left, you know. And we here can't identify that we were there and we left as well, you know. So that is something that coming to terms with being there helps me with that.
So tell us about Positive Mindset. I know this is an all-female collaboration. Over 21 artists, right? Okay, tell me about that.
It was produced by Silver Diamond Productions out of Jamaica. He called and he asked if I would join the project. The project had 21 artists, some from Toronto, Jamaica, all with positive messages. It was an honor to be the only female reggae artist from Trinidad on it, but at the end of the day, I would love if more would come on, you know.
And you're also preparing Majestic Makeover. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. All right. So Majestic Makeover. That is a show which empowers women. Ordinary women go through things daily and they don't really have the will to go for life skills coaching. They don't have the will to get help. They stay and they ponder. I want to tell females today, one, a positive mindset is the first step to solving any problem you have. This show does that. So we highlight ordinary women. We take them to the spa, yoga, life skills coaching. We want to make them an example for others, you know. And at the end, we do the grand reveal to their friends and family. So it's not just superficial, it's mind, body, and soul.
Yeah, I love that, Carla. That is fantastic.
Thank you.
What would you say to young women who, you know, want to be just like you and to fly the flag of Trinidad and Tobago high and to do all of these amazing things that you've been doing?
Yes.
And also make it in the reggae sphere?
Yes. Okay, so And it's not easy, you know, being one of the latest artists to come in, of course. It's not easy. I would say focus on your journey and hone your skills. In order to make it, you have to focus on you, and you can't look at anybody else and what they're doing, and, you know, focus on you, what your mission is, and you're going to get there. Don't ever give up, no matter what feedback you get. Now, it's not to say don't take it. Constructive criticism is always great. It's growth. Just don't stop. Keep going.
Yeah.
So that's my word of advice for the youth.
And how do you hope that your music and all these initiatives that you've been coming up with inspire other artists to use their platform and their music and their voices for positive change?
Yes. Well, just watching my entire journey, it has been short. And there are a lot of artists who've been doing this for so many years. That alone in itself should be an inspiration. I just came and I did it. And you can do it too, because Trinidad has so many talented artists, I must say.
Yeah, well, congrats on everything you've been doing, and also on Positive Mindset and Majestic Makeover.
Thank you, Virmala, and thank you for having me here.
You're most welcome.
It was an honor.
You're always welcome to be here with us on TNT today.
Blessings and love, Trinidad and Tobago.
That's Carla Yashamani Hobson, reggae artist, and doing so much work to promote positivity, kindness, and of course, female empowerment in Trinidad and Tobago. 7:36, that's the time. When we come back, the show continues.
I ain't come here if you ramp, I ain't come here if you play. I got trends to set, John never leave I yet. John never leave I yet. I ain't come here for friends, never come for pretend. I have no regrets, full of confidence. High grade cess, no cigarette. Never let them put your mind in offense. Chant to some, reconnect. High frequency, stay positive.
Now listen, this is your boy Carlos Edwards, and as a former player, let me tell you, it's the fans, man. The fans that made the game, that's the 12th man right there. And when it comes to Trinidad and Tobago, there's only one 12th man you need to know. My guy, Andre L. Baptiste on TTT, is bringing the heat every Tuesday.
In a world filled with uncertainty, there is still hope. When the weight feels heavy and the night feels long, remember, your story isn't over. God's promises are still true, His love is still strong, and your breakthrough is still coming. Join us for Messages of Hope, Words of Encouragement with Pastor Jesse, presented by Youth Fires. Hope lives here, only on TTT.
Unleash your imagination with TTT's terrific Tune Time. Join us as we stop evil geniuses from taking over the world from Super Z, or hop on board for a journey into outer space with Galaxy Kids. Be a part of our quest to save the forests alongside our robot pals from Bugsbot Ignition, or let's go exploring with Duda and Dada. Catch terrific Tune Time weekdays at 4:15 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. It's fun-filled adventure with terrific Tune Time right here on TTT.
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 1020 feature is just what we do. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
Every morning begins with a story. The headlines you need. The voices you trust. The conversations shaping our nation. Welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today, where your day starts informed and inspired. News that matters to you. Conversations that spark new ideas. Stories that move Trinidad and Tobago forward. Tune in weekdays, Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. or join the conversation on any smart device at TNT Today Show. Trinidad and Tobago Today. Start here, exclusively on TTT.
My friends often ask me, Penny, do you get upset when your friends don't come to your show? To that I say, absolutely not. They can go any show they want.
Two fat fellas coming down, two fat fellas round and round, two fat fellas in the town, two fat fellas.
Well, get ready for a bold, laugh out loud adult theater experience that's funny, relatable, and unapologetically real. This one's written and directed by Penelope Spencer, and it really saves up some big laughs and some sharp truths and moments that really hit close to home. This one has a whole star-studded cast, and I'm going to let them talk for themselves. Good morning.
Morning.
We have Rody in studio with us. Rody, your list of I don't know what you are anymore these days. I can't keep up. It's so many things happening. Yeah. Entertainer. Yeah.
For sure.
And the amazing, ever graceful, never aging, beautiful Penelope Spencer.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Congrats on this.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm going to let you tell us exactly what is this show.
This show is a show that talks to the not fat, I don't like to use that word fat, let's say we challenge individuals, but they have a story. It's like a romance comedy, kind of, actually, yes. Right. It is a wonderful story about two men who are trying to find their way in life. You know, one is coming from a bad relationship, and one is looking for a relationship. You know, and it deals with the health issues that we challenge people might have. It deals with relationship issues that we challenge people might have. We have a star-studded cast, you know, Rachel Bascom, we have Cecilia Salazar, Kevin Brooks, and Zachary Sosa, and Rody, of course. And we have some young people in it, you know, Marcus, Nisha, we have Ocean Davidson, and we have Joshua Phillips. We have a wonderful, new, experienced cast, mature.
So, before we talk about what inspired you to create all of this, Rody, how long have you been doing comedy?
I'm doing comedy since in primary school.
Oh,
seriously?
Yeah, since in primary school, I making joke and
Right.
I was always considered the class clown. Through primary school and
look
secondary
at you
school.
now.
And look at me now.
Yeah.
Making money from it.
Teacher them say you would never be nothing, Rody. Look at me now. Hi, Mama. I'm on TV.
So, Rody, you started to post your videos. That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
I want to say a few years
ago.
ago, but that was a long time ago. Yeah, I remember that. And I remember when you moved to radio as well, that space. And you've really been making waves. And now you are in these big shows, big productions under amazing human beings like Penelope. What does that mean for you now? I mean,
that means the world. You know, I never thought I would have ended up on stage doing theater. It wasn't in the cards. I am a production guy. I love videography and you know.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I love that. But I was blessed to be around people like Nikki Crosby, who then introduced me to Penelope Spencer and Cecilia Salazar and Errol Fabian. I even met Sprangalang already in Barbados. So that was just, God was like, yo, you want to do this thing, and you need to know the big boys and the big women in the game. You know, the legends in the game. So I just soak in everything. I learned so much from Penelope and
of course, Penelope, you saw talent in Rody.
Oh, definitely. He's a natural. He's a natural actor. He's a natural person that will play the fool and know how to come back and be controlled. It's a control thing.
Right.
Even though we look like, you know, everybody having fun on stage.
Right.
But there's a certain discipline that goes with theater.
Really?
And, you know, and it's a team experience as well. We all depending on each other. And, you know, he's a real team player, you know. He is very attentive to rehearsals and, you know, he's there. You never get this feeling that, oh, I'm too big for this, you know. You know, he's a very humble individual and I love working with Rudy.
Yeah, I want to come back to this question. What inspired you to create this particular theme? I know you spoke about the health challenges and all of that, but what really was the inspiration behind all of it?
To be honest, Trevor Jardinat is one guy. He came, he said, Penny, I wanted to write a play. Now I wrote this play. It was the first play I ever wrote. Really? The first play. Real major play. I did little snippets before with Necessary Arts, my company. And but to write a whole play, this was it. And I was, Mr. Jardinat say, you know, what you want to write about? And I say, he wants Glenn Davis and George Gonzalez in the play. I said, well, let's do Two Fat Fellas. And basically that's how it was born, you know. And after that, but going into writing it, you know, I had a mother who had weight challenges issues as well, and she had diabetes, and, you know, understanding the challenges of a person, a weight challenged person. I wanted to incorporate it into the play because even though I could well play the fool. I am comedy self, but I always like to leave a message, you know. You know, so the audience will be educated as well as entertained. They'll be real entertained, but they go away learning something. You know, maybe I take people for challenge. I take people for granted. You know, we challenge people, and maybe I'm too insensitive to people because people have feelings. Because we have a female perspective as well in the play. You know, Rachel Bascom. You know, she tells her story and her journey as a weight challenge woman. So you know, getting all sides, but it's all done under comedy. It's real kicks.
Can you tell us about any of the characters?
Yes.
Is it possible for a little sneak peek? Maybe you're just your character.
Just my own?
Yeah.
His characters.
I play two characters.
Okay.
Cecilia also plays two characters as well. One of my characters, I play a mom and a son. So the mom, her name is Joyce, right? And she's a cleaner at the gym, but she's also a past weightlifter.
Okay.
Gym enthusiast,
Strong body.
You know, so her legs extremely strong. Right? So I'll leave that right there.
Okay.
And then JJ the son, JJ's the son. He's the trainer. But he used to be out in the US a lot doing things out
and
there.
Then he was
came back. Yeah, he was iced.
So he must have an accent.
Yeah, of course. Okay, guys. Yeah.
Let's go.
Y'all ready to do this aerobics, man?
Yeah. So it's fun. And Cecilia, she has two characters called Daisy and Madeline, and it's very fun character, whimsical character, you know, down to the basement kind of character with her mentality. And then she plays the total opposite, you know, so it's a challenging role and she's taking it on wonderfully.
We working among some amazing talent, especially people like Kevin Brooks and Rachel and Zachary.
Zachary is new, and Zachary is not really new, but he's new to our type of theatre, and he's been received wonderfully.
Eating it up.
Yeah, but
eating it up.
Yeah, you could say eating.
Well, we'll get to see all of that on the show. Supper.
We are in Supper this weekend, 14th and 15th. We're going to see Alara next weekend as well. But we're in Supper this weekend. We are so excited because I know my South people supporting me because they saw that video, right?
That was a bit of a warning.
No, but it's all fun. It's all fun. It's fun. It's really, I guarantee that you will have a good time. Guarantee you will laugh your belly full.
What I love about Penny, how Penny writes as well, is that she touches on topics that people are afraid to touch on. So like when we did Ridiculous 6.5, it was extremely funny. People always ask for that play, but it touched on men's mental health. Right? And this actually touching on a topic that is taboo. We don't like to speak about our health here in Trinidad. We don't like to speak about, you know, obesity or even how we treat people who may not have the same body type
and
as
using
us.
comedy to do all of that. So it definitely is something you don't want to miss. Thank you so much, Penny and Rudy, for joining us. 7:48, 12 minutes to go before the top of the hour. When we come back, spoken word is on the stage.
In a world filled with uncertainty, there is still hope. When the weight feels heavy and the night feels long, remember, your story isn't over. God's promises are still true. His love is still strong. And your breakthrough is still coming. Join us for Messages of Hope, Words of Encouragement with Pastor Jesse. Presented by Youth Fires. Hope lives here. Only on TTT.
Coming up, another show-stopping performance from the Republic Bank Exodus Steel Orchestra as Antigua and Barbuda got ready for its own fiesta of color and energy. New ideas for Tobago tourism delivered at the Youth Congress. This highly rated property fits in perfectly with the vacation offerings of St. Kitts and Nevis, where the future of travel was laid out. It's Caribbean Passport TV on TTT.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
This Ramadan, join me, Charlene Lewis, for Ramadan Reflections, a weekly television series exploring meaningful conversations on fasting and the significance of the holy month. Airing every Tuesday at 8:05 p.m. on TTT, beginning Tuesday 24th February, we delve into real, relatable topics that inspire spiritual growth, discipline, and understanding during Ramadan. Let's reflect, learn, and grow together this blessed month.
Well, information just coming to hand is that there seems to be a fire somewhere on Alcazar Street in Port of Spain. That is something we'll continue chasing, and we'll give you all the updates on TTT Online. Well, moving on with the show, we get to close with two amazing spoken word artists, Danica Thomas and Angelique Khan. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Spoken word.
Yes,
An
yes.
interesting sphere, and you know, it's really a talent. So what inspired both of you to start doing this, and how did you guys meet?
Okay, so I am the founder of Bakano Creative Enterprise. Last year, I was hired by Bocas along with Javon Ford to teach a workshop for students over the summer vacation. And Angeli was one of those students that I had the pleasure of working with. The name of the program was called Wheel It Mic Check. And the goal was just to teach them spoken word poetry and just get them ready for the spoken word sphere in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah.
And Angeli, how did you get into spoken word?
Well, I was really looking for a place to express myself and my feelings, and this was a perfect opportunity. And Danica and Javon really created a safe space for us where we could learn the fundamentals of spoken word and develop it into a talent.
Yeah, so you moved from student to now working with her.
Yeah.
And that is amazing. So this project, how long ago did this begin?
So I started Bakano Leave over the pandemic. It was when things were shut down, and I used to work with the 2 Cents movement. And I was like, you know, there's a gap here where I could fill in. And I started an online open mic on Instagram where we had people from Hawaii, from London, from all over the Caribbean coming online at a specific time every month and performing poetry. And from there we moved to physical events where we actually right now have a monthly poetry slam. We have the next one on the 28th of this month. at Think Artwork Studio. So it's something that's I've been doing for the last 4 years.
And how did you come up with the name Bakano? I know it's a leaf that I recently learned about from Carrie because he got me some of the leaves when I had a cough.
Yeah.
So why did you use that word?
My mother is a herbalist, not professionally, but she always, anything that happens to us, it always has some bush she could make some tea to help heal us. And I believe that spoken word poetry could be healing. So when I was thinking about a name, I was like, yeah, this name just gonna fit. And if you realize it's not pronounced, it's not spelled the way people usually spell it, B-A-C-A-N-O, because I know if I put bois, people are not gonna be able to immediately catch what it is, like the average Joe. So I just spell it how we say it and make it accessible for everybody.
So what are some of the topics that you guys dabble in? I know there's also an ode to Trinbago woman as well. Tell us about the inspiration for the topics for your spoken word pieces.
So with regards to the slam, poets could speak about whatever they want to speak about, whatever person is they feel like offering to this space. For me personally, as a poet myself, I love to talk about issues surrounding women and the environment and experiences that are unique to our space here in the Caribbean, in Trinidad and Tobago. I know Angeli have a war piece that we developed.
Tell me about this war piece.
I'm very passionate about like politics and government. So what we started as an idea about war, we created it into something that stood up for issues that would otherwise be overlooked. And it really helped bring a voice to something that was overlooked in Trinidad and help young people to empathize with things going on internationally.
Yeah, a youth perspective is always a fresh perspective.
Yes, and we encourage.
That is always being listened to. So what's next with the Bakano project?
Well, we have the bookshop in Arima, which started last year. It's only 8 months old. And so the bookshop is in Arima. People could come as used books. And the profits that we get from the bookshop go back into Bakano Leaf to help us do exactly what we're doing here with Angeli and the group of girls in Providence. And if people want to, they could donate used books to the bookshop.
How can they do that?
Just find us on social media, Bakano Leaf and Bakano Bookshop, and message us and let us know, hey, we have books and we'll organize.
And we have the spelling for you on the screen. It's B-A-C-A-N-O, just in case anyone was wondering. So what's next for you with spoken word, Angeli?
Well, for me, I want to continue cultivating my talents in spoken word with Danica, of course, and hopefully in the future be in a position where I could teach other youths upcoming about spoken word and help them to find their space to express themselves.
And you're doing all of this while juggling being
she have an exam this morning.
Right after
and
this.
you are here with me. I feel like it's almost time for you to go. Well, it's also almost time for us to go on Trinidad and Tobago today. Thank you for being here with us. Just a quick recap of everything that happened on the show today. A little update from Dr. Kriyan Singh on Papwaute. And if you want that update, you can check us out at TTT Online. That's TTT Live Online. Also, if you want to get in touch with us on the show, our email address, that is ttt@ttt.co.tt. Also, we spoke with Carla Yashamani Hobson and Rishi Deosaran. It is also turtle sea nesting season. It goes all the way until August 31st. So that's something you want to check out. There's all the information for you. Again, TTT Online. Well, almost time for me to say goodbye. It is Friday? Yes, it is Friday. For some reason, I really lost track of time, but happy Friday, everyone. I hope you have a beautiful weekend and get all the rest that you need. We'll see you again on Monday, where we get to do this all over again. At the top of the hour, we've got Carrie with the Major Network News at 8 a.m. But before we go, we get to close the show with Danica. Danica, what's the piece that you'll be performing for us?
So it's International World History Month. Sunday gone was International Women's Day, so it's an ode to Trinbagonian women.
All right, well, this is all you, Danica, an ode to Trinbago women. Happy weekend, everyone. Happy Friday. Please take care of yourselves. Danica, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Dear Trinbagonian woman, you are the main attraction. And though it seems like your country has forgotten how much you are worth, you are more than world wonder. A big rarity, more than mud volcanoes. A grander sight to see than its coral reefs or any beach, dear Trinbago woman. Do you know that you are record breaking? You are all the sweetness of sugar cake and starch mango, but still, you hold all the heat of a moruga scorpion pepper in how you could be sunset, but also flip into forest fire. You have not had it easy. Your history has not been easy, but you hold yourself together. To be a strong Caribbean woman is to be born knowing how to make ends meet. It is to be genetically composed of everything needed to defy all odds. It is to defy all odds and to not be seen. It is to be seen and to be endured, to take and to take until you can't take no more. When you boast of the Magnificent Seven, know that your majesty is unlimited, that your beauty is immeasurable. Know that you are not tourist destination, you are a home. A paradise all on your own, dear Trinbagonian woman. When they brag about the steel pan, know that you've been making music from hardship long before they invented the tempo.
Good morning, this is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Protecting children from abuse is critical for preventing severe, long-term physical, mental, and emotional damage that can last into adulthood. It is essential for safeguarding our children's fundamental rights to safety. Civil rights activist Marcus Kissoon says the public must place trust in the authorities and the justice system to properly investigate matters and ensure justice is served.
I do think that the time that the institutions take allow for other children and for other institutions to feel as though that they have a kind of system that is actually invested in them. So, yeah.
Reference was made to the recent death of an 11-year-old girl in which sexual interference is suspected. Child rights activist Marcus Kissoon says adults must remain alert and create safe spaces for children, giving them the opportunity to speak openly and share what they may be experiencing.
Now, all of these things only become useful and viable if we as parents develop an open line of communication with our children. So I could give you a long list of the things to look for, but they become useless because the thing about abuse and bullying is that it's very secretive. It's designed in a way to keep children from disclosing, right? We are reluctant to have children disclose their issue because of the nature of how these issues exist.
He says looking for signs of abuse must go hand in hand with breaking the silence surrounding the issue, encouraging open conversations so children feel safe to speak out.
You know, we still live in a culture where some parents still don't ask their children, how was their day? You know, allowing children to feel as though that they have that kind of safety space to come to the adults in their lives who care about them, to unpack, to offload, to share the discomfort. Because again, any form of abuse, any kind of bullying is designed to keep the child living in silence.
Minister of Homeland Security Roger Alexander criticized those in society who encourage or support criminal behavior instead of recognizing and supporting young people who are succeeding through positive and conventional paths.
I dealt with vulnerable youth, young people, people from the ghetto, they call it, people who would have done well, excellent. In a society where he is condemned, he or she is condemned, 8 subjects, all ones. Put it up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. 1 like.
He was speaking at the ministry's seminar on vulnerable youth, a multi-sectoral integrated approach on Thursday. Minister Alexander said social media glorifies criminality.
A friend of a friend shot a 2 persons video on display. 17,000 likes. What did we do or did not do? So instead of embracing a youth coming from a so-called depressed environment, we prefer to support those who are shooting at each other and killing us.
In some sport now, Game 1 of the Big Four playoffs in the National Basketball Club Championship First Division is set to begin this evening with a doubleheader at the Southern Regional Indoor Sport Arena in Pleasantville. In the 7 p.m. match, we'll see the third-place seeded team, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, take on second-place Elite. In the second match, carded for an 8:30 p.m. tip-off time, we'll see first-seeded Leeds Maloney Pacers take on fourth-place Straker Nets. Both matches will be conducted in a best-of-3 series format, with the winners advancing to the finals. And that was your TDT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. From the entire team here, have a great day.
This is TTT. Live for local.